Hello, and welcome to Matt, who is the Chair, and Joanne, who is the Vice Chair of the IOSH Consultancy Group. I'd like to announce a warm thank you and welcome to both of you for joining us today to provide a valuable insight into the consultancy industry. This quickfire interview is for those who are just starting out their health and safety careers, as well as those who are looking for that career change. Myself, Alpa Aguera, and Lucia Rivolta, who are members of the IOSH Future Leaders Community Steering Group, are joined also by Lilian Waze, an IOSH student member who will now ask you a few questions to provide that insight. So first question over to you, Lilian.
One sec, I get the question. Thank you, Joanne and Matthew, for joining in to respond to our few queries and questions regarding the safety professions. Thank you so much. My first question is, what are the key skills beyond qualifications that students should focus on to be effective or occupational safety and health professionals in the safety industry or IOSH group? Thank you, John and Matt. Please, we'll be grateful for your responses.
Let's go first, Matt.
I don't mind, Joe.
Well, consultancy is quite a diverse profession. For myself, I'm an independent consultant, so I'm a team of one, whereas Matt's come from a large consultancy. And the role of consultant can be wide. You know, you can be covering many different areas of OSH, with some people in much specialism, such as fire, management systems, construction. However, irrespective of your specialism, one thread I would say that goes through all of them is communication. So for me, I'd recommend developing soft skills, or in the words of our next IOSH president, power skills, which you'll hear Louise mention very often. And the role of OSH professional involves working with people at varying levels throughout an organisation. So from that shop floor to the boardroom. So being able to communicate at all levels is really key to establishing both you as an individual and your professional role within an organisation.
Thank you, Joanne. Thank you.
So thank you, and let's proceed with question number 2. So how would you recommend graduates gain work experience as a consultant, and are there any recruiters or organizations who specialize in assisting with becoming a consultant?
Yeah, I think I'll take that one, Joe, if that's all right. So experience is often a question that's asked of many people who are either selecting a second career or even a student leaving their studies and coming into the OSH profession. I mean, my advice is try and get try and volunteer as much as possible, which I know all three of you have done, is getting involved with a professional body and volunteering and getting to know people, because one thing is being associated with a professional body, and the second thing is also building that network. And I think a network is important to people who are just starting out in the profession, whether they're a student or a second career, because the benefit of that network may create an opportunity for you to join an organisation, regardless of that experience. And I think the second one is doing some unpaid work, is trying to get in with organisations. As Joe said, I come from a larger organisation, and often we see, particularly in our own business, we run graduate schemes. So it's about looking for those graduate schemes, trying to get in at the entry level, and working up through an organisation. And those graduate schemes are very structured. They start you out from the very basics of understanding the business, not just the OSH profession within that business and the culture within the business, but the business itself, which, leading back to the previous question, gives you other skills that you wouldn't necessarily pick up as an OSH professional. So looking for those graduate schemes, trying to do some unpaid work where it's available, and volunteering with professional bodies, as I said, is critical that you expand that network very early on when you're choosing a second career, or whether you're leaving your studies and trying to break into the OSH profession, because there's lots of opportunities that can come from that.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you for that, Matt. I think my question will probably require an answer from both Matt and Joanne. So my question is, what activities can future leaders undertake to develop themselves for your industry?
Again, as Matt's probably, has touched on there, that certainly getting involved with, IOSH's branch and sector group networks is really quite key. Your IOSH membership enables you to connect with one branch and multiple sector groups. However, it doesn't really stop you from attending any of the branch or group events. They're all advertised on the IOSH website, and registration is normally free. So, that's a resource there that's available for you to take part in. But what I'd also say is get connected with that branch, speak to the actual committees, get in contact with the chair, the vice chair, the comms coordinators. Believe you me, any of them out there, if you mention that you're on a future leader steering group or you're a student looking to connect, they'll really want to get involved. They will welcome you with absolute open arms. So I'd really say get those connections. Certainly touches on what Matt was already saying. There is this wealth of information connections that you can definitely sort of call upon. Whatever industry you're in, there's many sector groups out there within IOSH, not just consultancy. If you're in construction, look at where your specialism is, your interest is in, and get connected with those particular groups. That would be my firstly. So, Matt.
Yeah, and just to sort of echo them comments there is look, branches and groups are screaming out for people. Get on a committee, get involved, do what you're already doing. Just being a part of the Future Leaders Steering Group is a step in the right direction. But we're always looking for new recruits to our committees. I would welcome anybody to get in touch with myself. If you are looking to go down the consultancy route, we're always looking for new additions to our committee that can bring a different dimension to what we do. Often we can become siloed in our way of thinking, and bringing new people, new ideas on board can take us in different directions and open up avenues to our members in different ways. So if you are looking to get into this sector, then please feel free to reach out and get in touch with us. But keep doing what you're doing, get involved. Future Leaders Steering Group is one direction, and as Joe said, is those branches and those groups.
Thank you.
Thank you. Question four, please. What do you do as an industry group committee member? Do you have many opportunities with this role?
Sorry, can you just repeat that question?
What do you do as an industry group committee member? Do you have many opportunities with this role? I don't know. Yeah. I'm not sure who this question goes to who, to be honest.
Yeah, so I mean, as a committee group, we have lots of different roles within the committee. So obviously myself as chair, Joe has been a previous chair, is now the vice chair, supporting me in that transition to chair. We've also created a number of new roles on the committee, which is trying to structure it a little bit more. So we've got, particularly with the OSH register, there's a lot of new updates coming from the OSH register, which IOSH is heavily involved with. So we've got somebody on committee who's liaising very closely with Richard Orton from IOSH, so that we've got direct access to new information and we can share that with our members. We've also got a collaboration piece of somebody who focuses purely looking at the collaboration piece with different branches, different groups, so that we can share similar ideas and we can collaborate with one another rather than duplicating. And then obviously we have executive committee members, and those executive committee members have a variety of roles. It's not just one specific role. They can be leading on a project, they can be supporting on a project, they can be engaging with members. So it's quite a wide scope for that particular role. What we try and do as a committee is increase awareness is one thing. Really touching on those pillars of the IOSH strategy is that collaboration piece, enhancing our profession and trying to influence our members as well as regulators and people who we may work with in our sector as consultants. Joe, do you want to add to that? Sorry.
Yeah, and I'd also say it's those opportunities. I know certainly in my time, I've been on the committee for 6 years, but regulations do state that after that period, I have to step down. It is my tenure is coming to, and then hopefully I'll get an opportunity in the future to join again. But even in my 6-year tenure, as well as having various roles on the committee. So as a member, comms coordinator, been the chair, the vice chair, but it's those other opportunities such as like actually hosting meetings, facilitating face-to-face meetings. We had a big networking event, which was fantastic to reach out to our members. We've done webinars, so again, been involved in chairing those webinars, hosting those Q&A sessions, just, you know, representing the actual consultancy group at branch events, whether those be online or face-to-face. So from that whole experience, it gives you lots of opportunities to advance your skill sets. So for me, I know I was well out of my comfort zone at chairing my first consultancy group meeting, very much so that first time facilitating an event. But really that has added so much to both me personally and professionally in my development. And I would say anybody that's been involved with the committee will find that you suddenly grow, you know, in various different ways. And the only opportunity has been by being part of that team, being part of that committee, helping our membership.
Thank you, Jo.
That sounds very exciting and inspiring, though. And also, can you please add like 3 reasons for an aspiring OSH graduate or future leader to join an IOSH industry group or committee, please? So 3 reasons for.
My immediate one is actually members. It is about the membership, you know. But to be serious, when I actually joined the consultancy group as a member, I did sit on the sidelines and did question what the group did for me. Did that, you know, did that achieve anything? No, it didn't. It really didn't. So what I did is I put my head above the parapet, put myself forward for a place on the committee, and I have never looked back at actually doing that. As I touched on, it gave me that platform to give back to membership. It gave me the confidence to volunteer further. So I'm also, after that, I became a committee member of the Merseyside branch of IOSH. I also joined IOSH Council. So through those volunteering roles, it gave me an opportunity to meet some of the most eminent leaders in our profession. It gave me the opportunity to make connections that to other persons, other peers, they've actually helped me both professionally and personally as well. As a consultant, you actually need to know your limitations. So there's going to be some areas of your work that you don't have experience of. But you know what? In my book now, I probably know somebody that knows somebody that can help me and therefore be able to help my career and help my clients in being able to deliver services. So it's a great way of making those connections that you will benefit from in the future.
Thank you, Jo.
Just to expand on that as well, is I think Jo touched on it slightly, is you know, is building that network, and sourcing mentors. You know, when you're first starting out in your OSH career, you know, there's so many people, as Jo mentioned, can assist over their clients, you know, assisting you professionally as well. You know, you're a sponge when you first start out. You know, you're trying to learn as much as you possibly can. And there's lots of people with diverse backgrounds and sectors and industries that they worked in. So, you know, if there's a particular industry that takes your fancy, is identifying that person, you know, going to them, getting them as a mentor, you know, and really drawing on that knowledge that they've got. And they might have 20, 30 years experience in that particular industry that, you know, you can sort of warm up to and get that information from them. And, you know, just expanding that network. Mentoring, it provides all kinds of opportunities. It could be a role, it could be an opportunity to mentor, to learn, to develop, and as Jo said, you know, expanding those skills. And similar to Jo, you know, I've been the events coordinator of the UAE branch. I was the chair of the UAE branch for about 3 years, I think it was. You know, on council, it just opens more and more opportunities to get more involved with IOSH. And you know, if there's an opportunity that comes up, grab it with both hands.
That's great. There's quite a lot there to look at, actually, even for myself. A few points that both of you have mentioned there. I'm just going to move on a little bit, actually, try and pick your brains to look into the future. So my question to both yourself, Matt, and Joanne is, where do you see OSH in your industry heading next?
I think there's a great demand there. I think with the pandemic, it's identified the importance of OSH to business. And I think that a lot of organisations, you know, are turning to consultants more frequently now. So for our profession in the future, I see it as a bright future. And I think if somebody's a young professional looking to get into the OSH profession, you know, I think consultancy is a great opportunity for them, because I think a lot of the younger generation now are quite entrepreneurial. And like to manage their own time, their own expectations, and I think consultancy certainly provides that in abundance.
Yeah, and I'll certainly echo that 100%, because I think previously people have actually often seen this profession as being the fun police, you know, where we're there to stop people from doing things. And certainly, yeah, I would agree that the pandemic's probably sped things up very much for businesses. As a profession, we're not on the sidelines anymore. We are at the table. We are asked how to consult on whether it's the strategic development of a business. They're now not developing businesses and just, oh, by the way, we need to do some safety. They're actually speaking to people. And I think a lot of organisations have also identified that they haven't got all of that breadth of knowledge, and do actually look at consultants to bring in those specialisms, that area of knowledge that those consultants can provide, whether that be for short term, whether that be for long term. So I definitely would say that as a consultants, we're a consultants and consultancy group, we're there as part of, at the forefront within businesses now, very much a lot more than it ever was in the past.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we don't have any more questions for you. So I just want to give you a huge thank you, Matt and Joanne. It was really, really useful information, super interesting and exciting to know a little bit more about, you know, consultancy, the consultancy world. And I'm sure this will help to inspire many new OSH professionals. So again, a huge thank you to you both.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for inviting us along.
No, that's fine. If you was to wrap up this webinar with a few final words, what would you both say?
I'd say get involved, keep doing what you're doing, build that network. And if you're looking to get into OSH consultancy, you know where Joe and I both are. Feel free to reach out to us. We're always looking for fresh blood to bring into the consultancy group and help us prepare ourselves for the future.